In this video, guys, we're going to look at how we can set up MT4 for optimal performance as a day trader. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. Alright, so this video is sponsored by our channel sponsor. And now those guys have MT4 as their trading platform. They also offer MT5, but we know MT4, super popular. Forex traders love MT4, but you can also access your indices, your commodities, so much more on MT4 for you. 3 different account types, multiple markets, loads of reasons to consider them as a broker or a backup broker if you're in the market for one of those at the moment. So go and check them out, link in the description below. But in this video, guys, we're going to talk about how we can potentially set up the MT4 platform to be really streamlined and slick for day trading. So as a day trader, we don't want too much information. We want that little sweet spot. We've just got enough. So maybe we want to play around with some time frames, some different markets. We don't want to be constantly clicking bits and pieces because listen, guys, trading is hard enough as it is. You know, we do not want to add more friction by having messy layouts, too much stuff bombarding us with useless information, having to kind of dig around and find the information we want. Time is of the essence very often with day trading. We just want seamless, clear. We want to know where to look, where to go for the information we want before we make our trading decisions. So we'll hit the screens now and we'll get it all set up. Alright guys, here we are, here on the live how this is MT4 as we know. So what we're trying to do as day traders is we don't want too much information, but we want enough to make our decisions. So there's a couple of decisions to make, a couple of kind of thought processes that go behind it. Number one is, what markets are you trading? So if you're trading a small basket of markets, which is generally what is the better way for day trading, if not just one market, if it's volatile enough for you, or you have alerts set up for other markets and you come and you trade those. That's perhaps more of a swing trader's approach. But day trading, you're probably focused on 1 or 2 markets. However, you also want to be aware of other markets. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you've got your market watch set up with all of the markets that you want to watch. Now, I'd never advise going crazy with it, but if you're trading, let's say you're trading cable, let's say you're trading GBP USD, you're going to probably want to see how the other GBP pairs are doing, obviously how the majors are doing, and maybe some of the other ones that make sense to you in terms of, okay, maybe I don't want all this information, but maybe you just want to have a broad view and just to see, okay, what's happening. So in your mind's eye, you can kind of see and picture the money flow without making it too complicated. And then maybe, possibly you want some other bits and pieces on there. I've just happened to have some CFDs here, some US stocks and other bits and pieces, but you can make this as you want. This is very much customizable. However, the important part for most of us as day traders is the charts. And what I like to do generally is I like to open my new chart window here, and with MT4, those of you familiar with it know that we can change very easily, go into a daily time frame. We can do pretty much what we want with it. But what I like to do is I like to make my trading decision from a larger chart, do my scanning, and then I want to put them all in an area where I can monitor them waiting for my entry. So I'm going to set up 4 different charts here. In MT4 here, we can just open 4 different chart windows. And what we want to do is I've got some templates set up here already. I can change these to a slightly lighter template. And what I kind of prefer to do generally is have the darker ones on the higher time frames. So here we've got the daily, and then we have this one on the, let's have the 4 hourly, and the lower ones on the whites. But end of the day, this is preference, personal preference. But what I like to do is I like to be able to visually see exactly in my mind, and in when you're recalling some of these chart patterns, often it's handy to have different color schemes. I'm not going crazy, but slightly different color schemes for different things. Okay, so what we can do now is we can cascade these tiled windows, and we've got the daily up here, the 4 hourly, the 5 minute, and then we've got what we've got on there. Maybe let's have the 1 minute, for example, if we're looking to scalp. So we can kind of do our whole due diligence and research process through this. So we might start from the daily. When we go maximize the daily, we do our analysis, we put our trend lines on, we say, okay, we think that maybe this is a key level here, we've pulled back X amount, maybe we draw a fib line on here, you get the idea. And then we can kind of either just use that kind of window icon there to restore down. I think they call it restore down, don't they? So I'll row it, so yeah, restore down, or you can go straight back into the MT4 and tile windows, and they'll put them all like this. So if you're watching, a market, you can do it that way. So maximize it, do your analysis, decide on what you're going to do, and then maybe when you're about to execute, you maximize your execution chart, which could be a 1 minute for you, it could be 5 minutes if you prefer to go a little bit higher, but you get the idea. So in this example, maybe you're saying, okay, I'm sitting there and waiting for this range to break, and I'm going to sell into this range. And appreciate this is we're after the market close here, and this is just an example trade. But if you were doing that, then you can execute on there. And then, like I always say, guys, don't stare at your P&L. Don't be looking. Be aware of your positions. But then you just want to monitor. And maybe, and this is another thing that I quite like to do, I've done my due diligence on my daily. I don't need to keep looking at my daily. I know what's going on. But then again, I want to monitor the position, but I don't want to monitor it on a 1 minute, because I'm just going to be seeing wicks and tails, and it's just going to end up forcing you to make a decision from an emotional perspective. So if you want to monitor your position, always go out to a higher time frame. Stick it on a 15 minute and go, right, I'm in on the short here, hypothetically speaking. I know I'm looking for my target somewhere down here, this last cluster of support, and I know I've got a stop above here. I frame the trade, and all I have to do then is just keep my eye on it. So what I can do is I can just have one of these charts, and then I can start to change some of the other charts I've got in here. So maybe I'm in a GBP USD trade. I can maybe get rid of that. My daily, I've done my analysis, I'm in the trade now. That can be my monitoring trade, and now I can bring up other time frame, other trades that I'm perhaps looking for. And again, we can just cascade that very simply, tile that very simply. I can just monitor the GBP and change then the market that I'm watching for something else, or maybe if I'm in two trades. So you get the idea. And another extra step, guys, is to make sure if you're monitoring a trade, again, use the templates, use the different ways that you can to change the look of it, so that you know what you're looking for. You know that is specifically that. And the other final thing for day trading, guys, is that very often, I know that many of you do this, is that you're using a few different markets as triggers to get into the trade. So you're kind of looking and seeing the money flow between the markets. So let's say, for argument's sake, we flip these all to 5 minutes. Let's just take out these two, and let's say we put in Swiss, and then we put in what have we got on there? We've got USD JPY. Let's just put in Euro USD. Okay, so we tile these off, and we go right. And again, we can change the colors as we see fit. But now what we can do is we can be monitoring these on a lower time frame, and I would have all these white personally for a lower time frame. But let's say you're looking for an entry now. Then you're watching how the money's flowing and how these are interacting with their own resistance, their own support, their own trend lines, and then you're pulling the trigger. So I know that some of you are very into that kind of thing, watching how the money's flowing between them and how the different pairs are reacting, whether one of them's lagging, one of them's leading, and kind of see which is the stronger currency, the weaker currency. And so you can do that. And of course, if you want to add more on, you can just keep adding more and more on. The brilliant thing with MT4, you can do that, and then just let it sort out the cascaded windows. The only thing you've got to be aware of is if you put too many on, you're just not going to be able to see anything, and you're going to ruin the situation. So it's that fine line, as we said, between too much information and just enough to make your trading decisions. So set your market watch up, put your charts in. The colors I think is a good tip to use for different time frames, and not overdoing looking at such a low time frame when you're in the trade. Having a monitoring type setup, having a analysis type setup or analysis type layout, and pivoting between the two. And then once you get used to it and customized to it, then it becomes second nature, and you can concentrate fully on executing the right trades, the good risk reward trades, the high probability trades, and you don't have to worry about all this, guys. Once it's set up, it's all done. Anyway, guys, channel sponsor, and if you want to check them out, there's a link to them in the description below. Go and check them out and see if they're the right broker for you. Take care, guys. Bye bye.